You know how they always go on about how records are meant to be shattered? Well, that's cool and all, but let's keep it real. There's some NBA records out there that are going to outlive all of us. From the shortest baller who defied gravity to the most epic L in NBA history. These are the NBA records that'll never be broken. All right, to start, we gotta hit it off with Rasheed Wallace because the dude was the OG hothead of the league, and he was so lit with anger that he set records that ain't never gonna be touched. First off, Rasheed holds the all-time NBA career record with a whopping 304 technical fouls. I mean, he'd beef with other players, scream at his own teammates, and even give the cameramen some heat. But his real target was always the refs, because every time they blew that whistle, he went full-on trigger mode. But Rasheed wasn't satisfied with just one record. Nope, he went on to set 2 more records that are basically written in the stars forever. First off, he had the most technical fouls in a single season with 41. That's like averaging a tech every 2 games. And to top it off, he's got the undisputed #1 spot of most ejections in NBA history, being kicked out a whopping 29 times. The best part? He said he doesn't regret it. Okay, speaking of fouls, we gotta talk about Bubba Wells. First off, my guy only played 39 games in his entire NBA career, but he managed to pull off a record that's just straight up legendary. Alright, so in 1997, during a game between the Mavericks and the Bulls, Wells got the green light from his coach, Don Nelson, to go all in on the hack-a-shack strategy against Dennis Rodman. And this dude was a loyal student, because he followed those instructions like a boss. He lasted a mere 2 minutes and 43 seconds before picking up his 6th foul and fouling out. Talk about efficiency. But as crazy as that was, this record may have cost someone their job, because Cal Bowdler pulled off something that sounds impossible in an NBA game. In just his 5th game in the league, Cal Bowdler managed to rack up a mind-boggling 7 personal fouls. Yeah, you heard me right, 7 personal fouls in a single game.
28-21 Bulls with the lead. Michael for 3, no. MJ with it, with AC Green on him. And right now, he's got both arms around.
But here's the kicker. It wasn't even his fault. The scorekeeper for the game miscounted Bowdler's fouls throughout the whole game. And it wasn't until after the game ended that they realized Cal had picked up his 6th foul and just kept on playing, only to foul out again with his 7th foul. Man was seriously falling in love with the game. Speaking of which, if you are falling in love with this video right now, do us a solid and hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you're feeling extra generous, might as well dunk on that like button too. Now let's switch gears and talk about an ending to a game that was so insane that it gave us a shot so impossible it set an unbreakable record. That shot was from 61 feet away, making it the longest game-winning buzzer beater ever.
What was interesting about that? He was trying. Oh,
Damn, that was wild. But Baron Davis took things to a whole new level because in the year 2001, he hit the longest shot in NBA history, a whopping 89 feet at the buzzer.
Nashburn, who could run the baseline. Davis, that'll be counted on a shot attempt. Oh, it's gotta go.
I mean, that is a record-breaking and breathtaking shot. With that being said, sometimes you don't have to sink an epic 89-foot shot to set an unbreakable NBA record. Sometimes you just gotta do nothing. And no one does nothing like Joel Anthony does, because this man set an unbreakable record for literally doing nothing. Back in 2011, during a Heat versus Blazers showdown, Joel checked in with all the hopes and dreams of making an impact. But guess what? Homeboy played a whopping 29 minutes and had a grand total of 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, and 0 blocks. I mean, he basically ran up and down the court playing with himself for nearly half the game. Well, hey, at least he collected a few personal fouls. Gotta count for something, right? Anyway, we gotta talk about Calvin Murphy, because this man set a record that's all about quantity, not quality. This man played in the league for 13 years, and guess what? He has the most kids of any NBA player. I mean, he's got more kids than he has years in the league. He's got a whopping 14 kids. And wait for it, here's the real kicker. Those 14 kids come from 9 different women. Calvin was out here breaking records both on and off the court and was definitely a prolific hoe. At least Calvin was a hoe off the court. Ish Smith, on the other hand, was the biggest hoe on the court. See, in 2022, Ish did something that no player had ever done before, because after getting traded to the Nuggets, my man notched up his 7th trade of his career, breaking the all-time NBA record for playing on the most teams. A total of 13 different teams. Damn, he is indeed a victim. Now, from getting passed around to getting blown out, we gotta talk about the Thunders. Back in December 2021, the Thunders walked onto the court and got absolutely annihilated, taking the heaviest beatdown the NBA has ever seen, losing by an all-time record 73 points. 73! That's the most epic backshot in NBA history, and it's like taking 2 L's in one game.
And the biggest cheers being led by Steven Adams on the other end.
5 minutes for it.
Slaloms to the cup and banks it in. Heel. All right, here's going to be your record. The highest scoring game in franchise history.
Y'all haven't even seen embarrassed until you've heard about Charles Barkley's infamous record. Chuck was statistically the worst three-point shooter the league has ever seen. And his three-point shooting was so tragic, it got his ass embarrassed in front of millions. See, Chuck retired with the worst three-point percentage in NBA history, 26.6%, and everyone clowned on him for it. But it got worse. Ernie Johnson, the co-host of Inside the NBA, who never even played in the NBA, straight up roasted Chuck for his poor shooting. And then in 2016, Charles had enough and challenged Ernie to a three-point contest to prove him wrong. Unfortunately for Chuck, it was a huge mistake. God damn, Ernie absolutely cooked Chuck at his own game, and that humiliation was legendary. With that one out of the way, let's rewind to 2018 when the Rockets had a golden opportunity in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors. The Rockets were just one win away from a shot at becoming NBA champs, and fans were expecting fireworks. But what they got instead was a colossal choke for the ages.
Harden behind the screen. And Gordon for 3. Gordon Harden. A reason for 3 threes per game during the series. Hardly forced.
Houston players went ghosting to set an all-time NBA record for the most consecutive missed threes, a jaw-dropping 27 in a row. The three-point shot had the Rockets in the chokehold that entire game, and it cost them the entire game. But someone who always shows up big time is his airness, Sir Michael Jordan. And when it comes to clutch moments, you know Michael Jordan's got that clutch gene running through his veins. The man's got the most game-winning buzzer beaters in NBA history. MJ for sure knew how to step up when it mattered most.
Tip number 6. Jordan. Open. Chicago with the lead. Cartwright. Now Jordan. 2 seconds. Lets it fly. We're down to 5. Jordan putting moves on Russell. We're down to 2. Now to 1. Here's Jordan.
Jordan has it. Top of the key. Moves up at the buzzer. He did it again.
Jordan driving. He'll go for it. Yeah, he got it.
But hey, while MJ might have the clutch gene, LeBron has the bucket gene, because the king has the most unbreakable records of all time. See, LeBron's been making history before the day he even set foot in the NBA. And yeah, the man's been king since then. From becoming the first player to win Finals MVP with 3 different teams, to being the only player to drop 40-plus points against every single team. LeBron is all about breaking records for breakfast. But in 2023, he set a record that's basically etched in stone when he inevitably passed the legendary Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most points in NBA history.
Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot in history. Record has just been broken by 38-year-old LeBron James.
$38,388 points and counting, fam. That's not just unbelievable, it's downright unbeatable. Ain't nobody in the league even close to catching LeBron, and even the young stars like Luka, Tatum, or Giannis would have to perform at superhuman levels for the next decade and then some to even come close. So yeah, the King has the most unbreakable records of them all, and that's just straight up crazy. But as crazy as LeBron's record is, this next one is untouchable, and we will never see something like it ever again in the NBA. See, in the 1987 NBA draft, legendary players came into play, like David Robinson, Reggie Miller, and Scottie Pippen, all coming into the league while this man entered the league as well, Mugsy Bogues. Standing tall at a whopping 5'3", behold the shortest NBA player in history. And here's the good part. This dude wasn't just some sideshow act. He was a starting player for a big chunk of his career. Homie may have been short, but he had speed that could give the Flash a run for his money, some slick passing skills, and a great competitive spirit. There hasn't been anyone like him before, and let's be real, there probably never will in the NBA again. He's the ultimate proof that in basketball, it ain't all about how tall you are. It's more about how high you can reach for your dreams. But hey, let's not kid ourselves, you still gotta be tall. There you have it, from impossible shots to epic choke jobs. These NBA records are so untouchable, they're basically frozen in time. If you liked the video, please do hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to help us get to that big 2,000 subscriber mark.